Gino Odjick had to cool his heels on the bench until the game was safely out of the Oilers' reach.
I would like to get on there, but the coach has a lot of experience, and he made up his mind to win the game first, and that was the perfect thing to do. We got 2 points, and that's what counts most of all, is the points, and we'll get a chance. We played them a lot this year to maybe even a score, but when they sent Brown out, there wasn't the time to start getting stupid penalties.
Do you want a piece of Brown?
Well, that's a pretty blunt question. Well, we'll see what happens next game, and we'll see. I just don't want to say that I'm going to go right after him, because in case it doesn't happen, you got to pick your spots. But we'll see. I'll keep my eyes open for him, anyways.
Canucks 7, the Oilers 4.
He's bodyguard, whoever that might be.
Well, he played against Jay Miller tonight, who was their only real tough guy in the lineup, I thought. And Jay Miller doesn't instigate a lot of fights unless he thinks it's necessary. It was a close game, so I don't think Gino should be fighting every night, and I don't think we talked about this the other night, that he should be fighting their heavyweights unless he has to.
And he does seem to be scoring some goals.
He does. It's unbelievable. He's getting more goals in the National League than he did in junior.
And not off
he was in the wrong league, I guess.
Not off his knee or his ankle. He's actually shooting him in or tipping him in.
He's playing great.
No, we remarked on that up there, Bob, how he's got a good touch around the net for deflections. He shot a couple in, and
yeah.
Pretty soon you won't be able to get him to fight if he scores any more goals.
Well, we won't get him getting that many.
Steve Soch.
Well, I think we've length coaches, managers. You know, there was some thought of bringing Craig Cox back and Gino and Sean Antosky for the game in Edmonton. But, you know, we have guys like Sandlak here and Murphy, and I think the object of the game is to win it. I think the referees are well aware of what happened here the other night. Hopefully they'll be on top of it, and we're going to go in to win the game, and I'm sure that they're not.
Say that the last time into Edmonton, you preferred to keep Odjick away from Brown. Will you think the same way tomorrow?
I don't think so.
Bob, I was just wondering.
And they're standing there going toe-to-toe. Brown has a hold of one of Gino's sweater, and the two of them now go to the ice. But I think Brown may have taken the decision there, Tom.
Oh, he really did. He caught Gino with a couple of uppercuts. Gino's a very game guy. Well, we knew these two big guys would go at it, and they've done it. And I anticipated that somewhere in this game, Gino Odjick and Dave Brown would drop the gloves, and they did it right off the face-off. And Brown is still one of the real tough guys in the league. Gino hung in there. He landed a few punches himself, but you could clearly see that I think the decision has to go to Dave Brown. And that's not surprising. Dave Brown is much older. He's more mature. He's been in the game a lot longer than Gino. Remember, Gino's only 20 years old, too, and he's going to get tougher as he plays more in this league. But the two big guys went at it, and you have to give the decision to Dave Brown.
To Vancouver's number 29, Gino Odjick, and to the Oilers' number 32, Dave Brown. 5 minutes each for fighting.
No instigator penalties there. They both probably looked at each other and said, okay, you want to go, we're going to. They dropped the puck, and simultaneously they dropped their sticks and their gloves, and toe-to-toe, the two big guys went at it.
Sandlak
and was right off the face-off. And as I said, neither player was given an extra 2 minutes as being the instigator. I think the two of them looked at each other and kind of knew that, hey, we've got to settle something here, and they went at it. So that really gave some spark here in this game. The building, as we told you, has been very quiet. The Canucks hanging gamely right now. They've been outshot 21-11. But they still have the lead here. Penalties to both Lamb. Started to skate over to the benches. Now the benches here at the Northlands Coliseum are side by side, and it looked like Odjick wanted to go again with Dave Brown. Now I think there might be penalties assessed here. It's really got the crowd into it. Muni is getting the penalty for the Oilers to put the Canucks on the power play. Let's pick it up.
To Vancouver's number 29, Gino Odjick, a 10-minute misconduct.
Referee Rob Schick has given Gino Odjick a 10-minute misconduct because he indicated that he wanted to go again with Dave Brown. I'll tell you, this Gino is something else, isn't he? But now he's going to have to sit for 10. He'll go to the dressing room with only 4:22 remaining here in the second period. Muni is here in the second period. We all kind of thought that would happen tonight. That's Gino Odjick for the Canucks and David Brown, one of the toughest guys in the league for Edmonton. How did you see that fight?
Well, I think Brownie had the better of it. I don't know if he landed any solid blows. We're a long way from the action here, but Brownie certainly had the better balance, and he had a better hold on Gino as far as the style of fight they were going to have. Now, some guys, Gino's a two-handed fighter, but Brownie, one of his best way of fighting is to reach out. He's got big, long arms, and he's very strong, and he's got pretty good balance for a big guy. So if he gets a good lock on your sweater, he'll push you out and pull you, and this kind of way I used to fight. And if you get the rhythm going, the other guy doesn't have a chance. Now, you might still never land a real solid punch, but it certainly looks good to everybody else. I don't know if any solid one landed. One mistake I think that Gino makes in his fights is he still drops his head. And against good fighters, and Gino is a good fighter, but when you drop your head,
The other, Odjick gets his...
ready to go again, and he'll learn. I mean, the big guy that used to fight for Philadelphia years ago, his name escapes me now, was Schultz. He wasn't a very good fighter when he started, but he learned by having lots of them and became a pretty good fighter. Gino made one mistake when he came out of the box. You got to be careful because that rule could have got Bob in trouble and could have got himself in trouble for 10 and 5 games. But fortunately, the referee saw it properly and gave him 10 minutes.
Well, Pat, you're the boss of this hockey team, and ultimate.
Two of them in that far corner. This time Odjick has Brown tied up. He lands some left hands. Brown trying to wrestle with him rather than slug at him. Now Brown's got a hand free. Odjick gets his face right into his chest, drives him up against the boards, and it's more like an Arthur Murray dance. Yeah, now they go to the ice.
Oh, Odjick, I'll tell you, he might get 2 minutes for instigating. He went right after Brown, and he landed about 3 punches, and then he got him in an arm lock, and he lifted Brown up against the glass and then threw him down to the ice and was on top of him. Let's give the decision this time in the rematch to Gino Odjick. Boy, is he game or what? Went right after Dave Brown. So we'll see if this gives the Canucks some spark here. They've really been hanging on. They haven't been skating tonight. They've been badly outplayed by the Oilers, but the Canucks are in a 3-3 tie as Gino Odjick and Dave Brown have their second fight of the night.
10 minutes, 54 seconds.
Well, that's exactly how we saw it, too. It was Gino Odjick all the way wanting to have a rematch with Dave Brown. And Dave Brown has to think, boy, I'll tell you, he'll have to have respect for Gino Odjick, I'll tell you, because this guy, he was clearly beaten in their first fight. And Pat Quinn even confirmed that on our interview in the second period intermission. But Big Gino has become a real favorite with not only the team here, but Canuck fans in British Columbia. Takes on the big guy, and he gets an extra 2 minutes for being the instigator.
Left.
Got 2 minutes for instigating, 5 minutes for fighting, and a game misconduct. And anytime you're in a second major fight and you're the instigator, you get an automatic game misconduct, just to let people know that. So Odjick got 2 + 5 + 10, and Brown just got the 5 minutes for the fighting major with Gino. And Edmonton cashes in on that power play to go ahead 4-3, taking in his 10th goal of the year from Simpson and Steve Smith.
Adrian Platt, selected by team management. Following each Canucks game, one Canuck player singled out for his aggressive play throughout the game. And Tom, tonight's Pacific GMC Award player is...
Who else? Gino Odjick. Big Gino with his 2 fights tonight with Edmonton tough guy Dave Brown. He lost the decision in the first one. We gave him maybe a split decision in the second one. He was the instigator, also got a 10-minute misconduct, but Gino was certainly game tonight. He was by far Vancouver's most aggressive player, and Pat Quinn, the general manager and president of the hockey club, selected Gino Odjick, and it's a good choice.
It's a interesting choice, too. He really didn't spend very much time on the ice. The first fight he was in, he went out for the face-off, and as soon as the puck was dropped, he was in the battle, and then the second time, he came out of the penalty box and got yelled at for the 10-minute misconduct for maybe trying to have another go at Brown as they came out of the box. And then they go into the corner on another face-off. I don't think Gino spent all of 15 seconds during the playing time of the game.
No, Gino ends up getting, 32 minutes in penalties tonight. He got the 5-minute major initially, and then when they came out of the penalty box, he wanted to go at Brown, so referee Rob Schick gave him another 10-minute misconduct on that occasion. And then when they did go at it the second time, he got 2 as the instigator, 5 for fighting. And because he was the instigator in the second major, that's an automatic 10-minute game misconduct. So that's 32 minutes in penalties tonight for Gino.
In about 15 seconds on the ice. Tonight's Pacific,
fights him a second time after going after him a third time, and gets the better of the call. So I mean, there's a guy that wanted to fight Dave Brown 3 times in one night. And, to be honest with you, not knocking our players, I don't think we've had guys that wanted to fight him 3 times in the 4 years I've been here.
I'm not sure he's going to have a chance to fight.
Odjick lands the first, the right hand. Now they're in close quarters.
This is what a lot of the fans have been looking for. They hammer away now. Dave Brown and Gino Odjick. And there was no backstabbing at the start of this fight.
No, there sure wasn't, Jim. I think this was sent out by Muckler. I think he wanted Brown. The Canucks have the upper hand right now. He knows that the last time they were here, it turned the game around when Brown beat Gino in the first fight. Right now, they're just wrestling in close quarters. Gino very game, though. He's got Brown pinned up on the boards. Brown has his right hand free a little bit. But they're not, they're in close quarters, and not a whole lot of damage can be done here. But the linesmen are letting them go.
Now Gino is down on his knees, and Brown is wrestling them to the ice, sort of twisting the Vancouver player as they go down. And Odjick was on his knees, but I don't think there were many telling blows in that scrap.
No, and I'll tell you one thing. Odjick is getting better as a fighter, too, as the season progresses. He's much stronger. We'll take a break. The score, Canucks 2, Oilers nothing from the Northlands Coliseum.
Minor penalties to Odjick and Brown.
Well,
or rather major penalties.
Major penalties, 5-minute majors. No instigators, though, and it looked like Gino scored with the first punch. Then he got off balance, and it looked like Brown tattooed him with a couple of left hooks. As his head was down, he was off balance. But they both landed some punches. I think it would be certainly fair to call that one a draw. I think that was a toss-up, that fight between those two big heavyweights, Brown and Odjick.
Each get 5 minutes at 7:10, 3 seconds after
Odjick, and they all knew who he was tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's any surprise about that. Early in the game, when the two big tough guys, so much was said going into this game in the last 24 hours about Odjick and David Brown. David Brown was on the cover of the program here tonight in the Northlands Coliseum. And those two big guys went at it in a hurry, and they were two pretty good tilts. The first one particularly, and I thought it was a draw.